Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a quick look here, of course, at Bitcoin. Some very important stuff here regarding ETF net inflow. And of course, this crypto regulation bill thing happening right now. We can see the rules are only approved after a group of no votes flip to yes. So what does that mean for us? Well, specifically, it's hard to say exactly because the market isn't responding 100% up or down versus that. But I think that we're maintaining this range, a lot of it because of what's happening back end for the fundamentals. So keep in mind, if that goes awry, we could see the price pull back. I'm still leaning more towards seeing a little bit more of a fair value gap and or CME gap get filled. But once more, it's really early. Let's talk about first, this is actually pretty important here, the ETF inflows. Now keep in mind, this is a slight lag. This shows that this increase in ETF inflow was on the 15th. That was 2 days ago or a day and a half ago, depending on where you're living. So the whole point of me mentioning this is that it's still remaining high, therefore sustainability in the current price range. And once more, even though it is slightly delayed, the whole concept there is that with more money flow into ETFs, the more sustainability there is in across the market with Bitcoin specifically. Let's talk a little bit about the Fear and Greed Index and recognize here too, I've mentioned this before, but just kind of a recap for anyone. Generally speaking, when we have an increase in price and the greed level is at a higher point, which is at 60 to 70, even 80 percentile, then we typically see the price go sideways for some time. So I wouldn't be surprised we're going to be kind of ranging between the 110 and 120 range. Obviously that range is still establishing itself, but it's important to note that historically, when we have the greed index being fairly high, we'll start to see the Bitcoin taper off. Now that doesn't filter into altcoins exactly. And what I mean by that is we can see altcoin season index is still quite high. Yesterday it was at 38, we're at 36 now. Staying over 30 is effectively a really good place. So it basically just tells us that majority of coins right now, there's a lot of coins here. I think there's probably about 20 or 30 here that are doing tremendously better than Bitcoin. The majority of these are ones that we cover daily on the channel and also trade within our community. So once more, try to focus more so on the better performing coins because you're going to find more success, of course, instead of trying to find that magical one breakout trade. So just some kind of things to be mindful of on the back end. So let's go and start up. First of all, with Bitcoin, let's go ahead and jump on over to our some additional backend data here with liquidation, just kind of get a baseline of where we're at, because I think liquidation is important. Most people do not cover this, and it's a thing to note of like, you know, where the accumulation of volume is. So where do people feel the safest with their trades? And we can see just under 116,000, that 112 to 115.5 range is a heavier concentration of liquidation here locally. Okay, so that's pretty much the largest accumulation we can see here close by. And in turn, oftentimes what that does, that emphasizes support. Don't get me wrong, like liquidation accumulates at support ranges, but it also incentivizes the price to go to that level if you have enough selling pressure or buying pressure in the opposite direction. The thing that is indicative here of further downside is how many more shorts are in the market right now. So I would just be cautious in taking too many longs. If you take a lot of longs right now, watch them close, adjust your stop loss higher. That's what our community's been doing. In fact, we took some nice profit on our Dogecoin trade yesterday, 25% in 2 hours. The market is pumping, right? But it's important to recognize too that when you are trading in these kind of ranges, while things are looking very positive for the moment, I can go the opposite direction quickly. What I'm getting at here is liquidation short delta is at about 4 billion to the downside, emphasizing we have $4 billion more in shorts than longs in the market right now. And that should tell you a little something. It's usually a very indicative indication. It's a sign, right? Kind of an early sign in most cases, but we've been maintaining that for like 2 or 3 days. So keep in mind, that could lead to a short squeeze, because if you do look here at open interest, 118,000 is that heavy concentration. It has been for some time. So that really hasn't changed much. I don't really see that adjusting too high. So what I'm getting at here is 118 for the moment. As we continue to close above that level, we're more likelihood of increasing further up, because once more, we're starting to build ourselves into a type of bullish channel here. And that's generally a positive sign, right? So you generally want to try to trade ranges like this, but the likelihood of breakout to the upside is higher based on us deriving from the downside, right? So generally speaking, that's a bullish type of rectangle pattern. Still very premature though. Don't attach yourself to that. People will have a tendency in trading They're probably more like superstitious people. They have a tendency of like thinking that patterns always fulfill themselves. And while it's true that it can help, it influences, helps you identify the trend, it doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% guarantee. Nothing truly is. So anyways, let's go ahead and get a baseline here on Bitcoin, see where we're at. Let's start with a weekly and work our way down. And just to kind of note the obvious, 110 roughly and some change. Just say 111 to 115 is that significant fair value gap. Okay, so it's common for those to be retested. Now, if you look in hindsight, not all of them are filled. So once more, don't attach yourself to the bias that we're going to go down that far. But once more, to me personally, when I see this, that in confluence with a handful of other indications, kind of topping out at 70 on the RSI. There's some things here kind of letting us know that we could see that pullback, but there's nothing like super stark and like amazing here. No hidden bearish divergence that some people are probably talking about. Nothing is hidden here really. It's pretty clear and transparent that we're going up, but what goes up must come down. We got some weird fundamental stuff going on. I think that it's a unique time frame right now to go balls to the wall and just sit there and take nothing but longs. However, altcoin, let's actually touch on this here first before we go any further. Altcoin dominance is increasing. This is Bitcoin dominance here, effectively the inverse, letting us know that we're in really good shape here for altcoins. This is basically excluding the top 10. Majority of alts are doing very well. Okay, so there's no other way around it. We do take a look at stable coins too. We want to recognize that there's not a lot of money in stable coins here. So what that basically tells us is that money is coming away from Bitcoin, essentially the profits being taken there, and is transitioning into altcoins. And or just we're seeing less money flowing in, but ETFs are high, so that kind of tells us that's not true. We're more likely to be just cycling these type of profits, if you will. Okay, but the end of the story here, easy way to understand it, is that when Bitcoin dominance goes down and the price of Bitcoin goes sideways and or up, we have either up for altcoins or stability. No matter how you look at it, as Bitcoin dominance goes down, we have more propensity for the price action for altcoins to continue to go higher. And for right now, that narrative hasn't changed yet. Just note we got three black crows. That's a candlestick pattern letting us know that we're probably reaching our tentative bottom soon based on the 72 hours of overextension. Okay, so take a look here. Bitcoin, let's jump on over to the 4-hour time frame. Actually, no, this is the daily. We haven't covered this yet. We want to recognize that we are starting to see slight shifts here. Of course, we got a second or tertiary deviation or divergence effectively on stochastic RSI. We're right there at 70 on the RSI. That's one of these unique places here where a pullback would make more sense, but also we're working ourselves into a nice little rectangular pattern if you exclude the outliers here, because basically the delta, if you will, is right here between 117.5 and 120. So that's our current range right now, essentially on lower time frames. So overall, we're working ourselves into the moving averages right now, kind of above and below or right there at them. We're working our way up on the ascending trend. Overall, things are super positive here, so don't get it twisted. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin whatsoever. Majority of all the indicators are letting us know that further upside makes more sense. But the conservative trader in me wants to be like, hey, wait for a pullback before you invest. But altcoins are just rocking and rolling. And I mentioned this to my community yesterday too. We have to take advantage of these opportunities while we can. And it's just one of those things that waiting for confirmation or the price to back test previous highs or as new lows. Those days are not really super. It's not happening right now. Simple way to understand it. So just be cautious and careful in how you approach this. But overall, there's nothing like crazy and amazing here at this point. We are working ourselves into a slightly descending trend. So what I'll do is I'll post a playout chart in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord to give you some perspective here on what that looks like. It does look like this here, of course. If you want to join over there, obviously welcome aboard. If you do want to become a better trader, we do have a summer sale right now for Crypto Cash Premium and or Plus. So links down below for that if you're curious. Make sure you check out BitUnix too, folks. These guys are phenomenal. They've been an exchange we've been working with for over 2 years. They've taken very good care of our community, and we have some really good rewards here. A $10,000 prize pool that keeps increasing as we get closer to that goal. So keep up the good work. If you register with my link, though, you'll be eligible for every future promotion, and they do that every single month. So check them out. They're awesome. They've been really good to us. No KYC or VPN required. I hope you all have a good one, though. Thanks again so much for watching, and really appreciate the wonderful feedback, too. People are liking this new format. I'll continue to make good content for you, of course, and in turn, you can always hit the like button. maybe even comment below. Let me know what your position is here on Bitcoin, and we'll take it on over from there. So I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.